Hello. It's February. I'm late, but we have been so busy scrubbing, cleaning, emptying, painting, and rearranging the house as my lovely daughter fits all of her enormous stash alongside my enormous stash. It's an interesting time. I've finished. I didn't think I would, but I have. So let's get through it. A quick flip through. We were up to page 24, which was fabric. We've been pulling out so many old things, and I found this. Actually, she brought this back home. It was a sample of machine embroidery I'd made in a workshop many years ago. So I thought, rather than throw it out, I turned it into a fabric flip. And here, another thing she brought home. This was a beautiful hand woven silk scarf given to us in China. Very falling to pieces, but I really didn't want to throw that out either, so I'm going to use it in future journals. It makes beautiful texture. And then I made a little fabric pocket, just using, again, more things she brought home. I used to make quilts and people would give me their leftovers, so this is somebody's leftover squares which I stitched onto a piece of card, so that forms a little pocket there. This to me really feels like fabric. I've discovered that if you use a glue stick to apply napkin, it feels really like fabric, very soft and smooth, not at all like when you use the PVA, which leaves it sort of shiny. This is a reminder. I need as many as I can get. Ombre. Well, I think you can probably tell I struggled with it a bit. Q had put her pencils out, so I tried doing that over one of Dad's science papers. Not very effective. I looked up in the dictionary, which is what I always do when I feel stuck on somebody else's prompt, and I learned a new word, sombre. Sombre, which is a softer version of ombre, just as it sounds. In the end, I thought I'll go with just using some watercolor swatches I'd done. I think that works. They're soft transitions, secret journaling spots, and then this one, I love doing this with the paint. So not very inspired, but hey, I got it done. Translucent, this was more fun for me. We bought these glassine bags, which are beautifully translucent. So I've got pocket in here, pocket there, had to clip it. And then these are white lunch bags that a girlfriend had masses of, and she gave me 2 bundles. It's not as see-through as the glassine, but it feels just as nice, and it takes stamps really nicely. So here's probably should have been in the fabric section, a little fabric mushroom I tried. I glued this over here so it forms a tuck on that page and left more journaling space there. So I like the feel of this page. Lyrics. Okay, went to the dictionary. Above lyric was lyrebird, and the morning before we had sat in the sunroom having our breakfast, serenaded by a lyrebird who was up in the tree, which is only about, 15 metres or less from the house. So we had a really clear view of him as he was going through rehearsing all of his beautiful liquid notes. So I thought this was fantastic. I love the combination of lyric. They're so, lyrebirds, they sound a bit like magpies, that liquid notes. They're so beautiful. And then, what else did I do? Oh, here we go. a little poem from an old song, because a lyric is actually of or pertaining to a category of poetry or verse. Typically lucid and simple or direct, with smooth, regular rhythms, often reminiscent of music. There you go. I'll forget that by lunchtime. Day 28 was grungy. This was easier to find things for. So here's some embossed oxided paper. I've just created a little flip, grunged it up a bit with a stencil. More scraps. And this was a happy accident from the following page, but here's some splat scraps, which I've turned into a little book. This is one of my old school reports from goodness knows when. And here's some lyrics. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea. Our dog, when we were kids, was called Puff. So I kind of like that. I have that along with my primary school report. And then, and more grunging with a stencil under here. And I just made a little hinge here and actually stitched this on by hand, so I had a bit of stuff hanging out. Grungy. Oh, we're so close to the end. I must admit I did all of these ones yesterday, trying to catch up. Geometric. I was quite pleased with this in the end. This was from a piece of paper that Q had given me. And this, look at this. This was from a book of origami paper that had pre-printed designs, which I didn't know what to do with, but I thought, look at that. Secret journaling spots. Tucks under there nicely. You could even tuck something through there then if you wanted to. And a bit more geometric. Black and white. I'm thinking I might have to do a black and white journal. I quite like the way this looks. Funny how you can start off thinking, ugh, geometric, and end up thinking, well, that was fun. I like it, and it worked for this page, and it worked for the next page, which was travel. So it gave me a tuck here. I found an old passport while we were going through things, so I ripped this out. So this is from a long ago trip to Japan, 1987. There you go. I don't travel very much overseas. It's not really been in my life. Found this beautiful washi tape and made another flip. This was on my desk and it was the remnants of an old atlas. So here we have the world environment, which I taped together and turned into a flip. And here I was looking for a sticker, and the only other place I really travelled, apart from the UK, was China. So that's a tiny little sticker of the Great Wall to remember that trip. And then the last page of reflection, that was taped on. Reflection, to me, I always think of mirrors. So I made a little flip, and I'm not sure if this is going to show, but there's a person looking into a mirror. And there's a hologram embedded in that, a sheet of silver. So I hope you can see it. If not, you'll have to take my word for it. So I put my favourite little frog stamp here. And a thank you to Meg for the hosting this. It's been really good. And then I just wrote a few notes to myself as I reflected. It's good to have a daily practice, to experiment. I mean, there are so many things in this I would not have done. And to record what was happening, reminders like the lyrebird of that lovely morning at breakfast when we were caroled, to remember, for me, to remember how to do certain things, like that I wanted to use these acetate pockets that you can hinge in a simple flip and add extra pages. All of these things for an aging brain are very helpful. To enjoy and to play, I have really, really enjoyed doing this. And to feel a sense of achievement. You know, it's hard to sit down every day and do something without a purpose. Well, it's certainly much easier with a purpose because you know what you have to do as your next step. And sometimes, I've always been self-employed, and sometimes it's hard to transition from the glass studio, where I'm very good at doing that, to journaling, where I'm learning to, you know, set myself up. What am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing now? And last but not least, to share. I am enjoying learning to use YouTube, and I hope people are enjoying watching. Now I have to come up with a February challenge. Well, actually, what I have to do first is figure out how to close this now that it's looking like this. So fat. I was thinking I'd use elastic, but actually before that I thought I might just make a topper, because this is a very plain cover. And I had this bit of leftover, and I found my little favourite frog. I'm not going to do this now. This is already too long, and I have a lot of things to do other than journaling today. But I might just give, if this works well, I'll show next time what I figured out for this. Definitely needs something. We're going to do the February 100 Days Challenge. So stay tuned and we'll tell you what that will be. It'll be a two-part thing with both Q and I filming the development of what we're going to practice for 100 days. Okay, bye.